All right, I'm back. So you're gonna notice a few different things. I'm wearing different clothes. My haircut probably looks different. I haven't gone back and checked the footage, but I'm sure it does. My voice sounds different because I have updated a lot of things on my microphone. Move that a little closer. Hopefully, it's not like that. And as soon as we go to the demonstration on the desktop, you're gonna notice that the date is way later. So, in a nutshell, I picked up a second job. I've been working extra hard. This is in the way. Let's try like that. Um, and I just have not made the time to record or do anything on the channel. So, um, but anywho, I also in that downtime decided that we are going to fast track the rest of this video, um, because it got way too long in the enumeration. But if you recall, let me pull up my notes here. We found a lot of interesting things that we wanted to take a look at. So we've got OpenSSH, RPC, SMB, Apache. Um, didn't see so much on the web page at a first round check, but I'm sure that there's plenty because, again, this says that um, this says there are many ways to hack Kioptrix. So we're gonna fast track the rest of this video, um, going off the first walkthrough that I found, which is exploiting a Samba vulnerability. So we're about to get how to detect that and exploit it. So without further ado, okay. So this says they ran the same Nmap scan that we ran. I think actually a little different. What flag did we use? Okay, so we used SC, SV, and then we did all ports. We ran it fast. They just didn't all. Okay, so similar information. There's a little more succinct. It looks like, uh, but still the same thing. So they also checked out the web page. They didn't do much with that either. We can't find useful information, so I'll just enter Etsy at the end like this. There was nothing found. And then we also did that same thing, that it's Apache 1.3.2. That was something that I wanted to dig into. But then they ran this command here. So we're going to do the same. Let's get into what Nikto is real quick. Nikto is a scan web server you use Nikto to scan web server for vulnerabilities. It's very possible that I'm pronouncing it wrong. I digress. Okay, so we're going to examine the web server for potential problems and security vulnerabilities, including server and software misconfigurations, default files and programs, insecure files and programs, outdated servers and programs. Nikto is built on libwhisker by RFP and can run on any platform which has a Perl environment. It supports SSL, proxies, host authentication, IDS evasion, and more. It can be updated automatically from the command line and supports the optional submission of updated version data and back to the maintainers. And here is a bunch of usage manual entries. This is a great thing that we're going to dig into later. But for now, we're just going to run the same command that this nice author of the write-up that we are following did. Sorry, misfire on that. Okay, and it was just Nikto 80, I believe, because it was port 80. And, oh, geez, now I don't even remember what you were. Boom diggity. And run its scan. While we're waiting on that, let's check this out. 2001 0835. Let's just see what the EPSS is on that while we're waiting. Just a fun thing to check. Let's just do it. Oh, 835. Interesting. So, in a real world scenario, if you had this old vulnerability in your environment, there would be less than a 5% chance of it being exploited in the next month. Wonder if that could possibly be due to it just not being very prevalent anymore, so nobody's looking for it. That's really possible. It is also not in the known exploited vulnerability catalog, possibly because it's so old. But this is in the 88th, almost 89th percentile, which means out of all of the hundreds of thousands of CVEs in the CVE database, this is worse than almost 89% of the other CVEs in that database. So that's pretty interesting. We don't get the spider on this, but that's fine. Okay, cool. Well, that's okay. And then we see from I don't see anything. How do you read this? So this is how you read this. Let's how much am I really blocking off? I'm not blocking off a lot with my little head insert cut out there. Okay, so Apache is vulnerable to the cross-site scripting via expect header. Clickback is not present. X-type header is not set. This could allow user agent. OpenSSL appears to be outdated. Apache appears to be outdated. Mod outdated. Mod rewrite. Mod remote buffer overflow. Remote shell. New file. Webalizer may be installed. Vulnerable to cross-site scripting. Test PHP. This might be interesting. That's a fun line to have. PHP backdoor file manager was found at this address. That's going to be good to take a look at. Right, so this is actually here. Let's enumeration, more enumeration. Am I just dumb? where do you see Samba in your thing? What am I missing? Okay, so what this author was pointing to with the Samba vulnerability is SMB2 protocol negotiation failed. Basically, SMB on port 445 is not very secure. I'm pretty sure that we got that same result too. Yes. Negotiation failed. Okay. All right, so let's copy that. See what we can find on that. See if that's how they're determining this Samba. All right. Found an article for something else. So just for giggles, let's run another Nmap. Try just to show how to detect that this is a vulnerable version of Samba, because the last ones I did does not show us that. Okay, again, that didn't show us anything. So I still don't understand how this person decided to go with this trans to open exploit. I just don't get it. And I was hoping to provide some value of showing you how you can find that. Hey friends, Future Eyeing here for just a little, the more you know. So, supposedly, so this line in white from the Nikto scan was apparently the clue that this was vulnerable to the trans to open exploit. So, the more you know. Okay, this person had a better explanation on how they found the Samba. So, we could try this. Let's try enum for Linux. Metasploit a minute to load up. You can see I called the wrong program multiple times. That's why we use tab complete, friends. Okay, so anyway, they used this auxiliary scanner SMB version. Okay, so we set the host to our target and then we run. Host could not be identified. Unix Samba 2.2.1a. Eureka. We are looking at 2.2.1a. That is something we can exploit. All right, carrying on. So, then they use SearchSploit. So, yeah, let's do it this way, so that I can show you how to use SearchSploit since I failed on that last time. Okay, so SearchSploit is built in to Metasploit by just using the search command. There we go. All right, so you just search. It didn't like the full version number of 2.2.1a, so I shortened it to 2.2 point, and we see a few things here. I know that we are going to do trans to open, so it's going to be one of these. Got brute force, Solaris, Linux 86. I think this is going to be our guy. Yep, Linux Samba. Boom, boom, boom. Because we know it's Linux. So, backing up from our previous enumeration, let's just take a look here. It says something about it somewhere. I know I read it. Unix, okay. Isn't what I'm looking for. Red Hat Linux, right here. Okay, so we know it's a Linux box from the previous enumeration. All that for later. I am certain I won't be gone for so long again. Okay, here we go. All right, we're gonna use two. Wait, no, uh, where's Linux? Yeah, use two. So when you use the search function, you can just use the corresponding number to the exploit you plan to use. All right, and you can see that it changed us to our exploit. What did it say before? Did it say enumerate? Auxiliary? Okay, whatever. Okay, cool. So let's look at options. Our hosts, our port, L host, L port. Okay, so how are we going to set this up? All right, so I'm going to have to look more into this, but they went with a payload called Linux x86 shell reverse TCP. It's an unstaged payload, meaning they don't have to worry about getting it interrupted once they exploit the vulnerability, and they don't like using interpreter payloads on Linux systems. The functionality is limited compared to Windows equivalent, and I'm more comfortable in a Linux environment, as am I. So, that also sounds like a great idea to me. So, let's go with doing the same thing. So, they use exploit trans to open, and then they set the payload. And then they check options. So, I checked options first, whatever. I'm going to take note of this. Okay. I was just taking note of that. Okay. Set payload. Helps if I can spell. My goodness, this is awful. All right. Payload set. And then okay. Set their options. All right. So the reason they are doing this way, I'll host ETH0 is so that you don't even need to check your own IP. So the reason they did that is so you didn't have to check anything, but I still had to check it. So I guess it didn't really matter, but whatever. It's fine. All right. So we're gonna listen on 9001. Okay. Cool. 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 All right. exploit. Do the thing. This may take a couple of tries. Okay. Alright, so naturally as a buffer overflow, it doesn't happen every time. Okay, so we're looking for the command shell session1 opened and accepting input. Okay, cool. New password. Alright, we're just gonna set up a new password. It's just gonna be 1234. Too short. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, cool. All set up accordingly. Alright. Current working directory, temp, cd home, ls, config, yeah. Temp. I mean, I'm already root, so that's pretty cool. Cd to the root directory, all of our normal stuff. Ah, there we go. No, not really anything. Resources, Anaconda config. Oh, that's right. You can't tab complete. Reverse shell. Oh, okay. I would have never thought to do this. Okay, so apparently there is no flag file in the file, but there is email. Okay, so we can take a look at some email. So they do this with ls. I'm gonna do LA because I usually do LA, and then they went to the mail spool, var spool mail. Okay, okay, okay. All right, and then we see email with Harold John NFS Nobod, which is NFS Nobody, and then root. Okay, so we took a look at the root mail. Actually, do this. I think. There we go. Okay. Then we cat it. Oh, we just had it. If you're reading this, you got root. Congratulations. Level 2 won't be easy. Okay. Okay, so great. So this is the flag. Okay. So I'm glad that I looked at the write-up because this is not what I would have looked for a flag. I would have looked for like ASCII art or like flag random hash number, hash value. So I'm glad that I looked at the walkthrough because I would have not been able to figure that out on my own. I also like that walkthrough, and the reason why I saved it, I'm going to share it in the notes below, is because they also included things that, um, a few things that they did that didn't work, so a few rabbit holes. I obviously had a lot. I'm going to leave all of mine in my video, but, um, but basically, we did enumeration. We found a bunch of interesting things that we want to take a look at for next time. So this was Kioptrix box 1. We'll start at 0. Box 1, exploit 0, Samba, and I hope you enjoy our next No Rails boot to root in your own home lab. This is Brews and Hacks. Please let me know how I can improve other than keeping a regular cadence. Comments below. Check out the blog. You know the thing. Do it. And I'm glad to be recording again. Kia ora.